pleasure to be here. I feel a bit like a Las Vegas motivational speaker with this microphone. Like, should we do a session on, I don't know, how to seduce women or how to become a millionaire in 5 easy steps? Unfortunately, women are a mystery to me, and I'm not a millionaire. And so instead, I'll tell you what I do know about, which is mystery. Okay, my talk sounds very paradoxical. How can you empower customers by actually removing choices from them? How could that possibly make them happier? It is a paradox, but I like a challenge, and so I'm going to try and convince you of it anyway. Basically, the idea is that too much choice is actually a burden upon us. You might say, that's stupid, silly man, shut up. How could choice possibly be a burden? Well, it can be a burden when we're making unimportant decisions. So, you know, choice is great when you want to pick a partner, or, I don't know, you want to buy a dog, or you want to pick a farm in Farmville. These really critical decisions. For this, we need choice. But for the unimportant decisions, actually, if we have too many choices, we're just putting obstacles in the way of us making a purchase decision. And this is what's happening, I think, in e-commerce, which is where I'm focused. Let's move on. Okay, so you've probably read, most of you, The Long Tail, I guess. Show of hands, people who've read The Long Tail. Okay, so you're going to say to me, you know, choice is great, choice is good. We can have as much choice as we like now because we have all these great e-commerce technologies. Everyone can have exactly what they want. And the problem with that is that for most of us, when we make decisions like buying a TV or a stereo or a mobile phone, we're actually not in the long tail. We don't have really specific needs. We're stuck in the middle ground. And in the middle, there's the highest number of products with the lowest differentiation between them. And so we end up with just a lot of choices. Whee! And then you'd get the same again after you pick that, this time for contracts. Then again, you'd get the same for optional upgrades. Do you want it in red? Do you want it in blue? Do you want it in green? Do you want insurance? Like, it's the same old stuff. Too many choices about things that we just don't care about. It's the same whether you buy a TV or a car or some kind of insurance or whatever. Okay, so what's the outcome of that? Usually, we just give up. So you stay with your old mobile phone because there's just too much hassle to make a decision. Or you make a decision, but you're not really convinced that you made the right decision. And so all the time you've got this thing that you did decide to buy, but you're not really sure that it was the right thing. And so your enjoyment of it is diminished because you've always got this nagging suspicion that you picked the wrong thing. Okay, if this sounds very familiar, it's because you've read this book. He explores it in much more depth than I have time to do today. If you are interested in this topic, please read this book. Section 2, the death of mystery. These days you can't have those really long debates with somebody about something. For example, who won the World Cup in 1970? You can't spend a whole evening debating that because someone immediately whips out a smartphone, asks Uncle Google, and you learn that it was in fact Brazil that won the World Cup in 1970. But you don't learn just that. You also learn that they beat Italy in the final. You learn that the score was 4-1, and you learn that Pelé was the first goal scorer. It's more information that you wanted, and you didn't really have to work to learn it. And the problem that I think with that is that we don't value knowledge the way that we used to because it comes to us too easily. I think that if you think about the mistakes that you've made in the past, those lessons are probably the most vivid in your mind because you really paid for that piece of knowledge. You really messed up and that taught you something and you value that lesson. You probably won't value the fact that Pelé scored the first goal when Brazil won the World Cup in 1970. I expect if I ask you later on when you see me walking around, you won't be able to tell me who won the World Cup in 1970. Okay, so my slide's a little dodgy. The bad side of this is that we lose those great eureka moments, you know, when you really spend a long time trying to think of a piece of information, and just when you're about to give up, you're like, eureka, I've got it. I've remembered what that was. Yeah? And we lose that now because all information is available constantly to us all, and so our lives are losing mystery and losing suspense. Okay. If this sounds familiar, it's probably because you've watched this talk, which is J.J. Abrams, the creator of Lost. He did a great talk a couple of years ago at TED. It was all about the mystery box and how important mystery is to our lives because it's a catalyst for our imaginations. That's a great talk. And again, he's got more time than I have, so we'll have to move on. Let's recap. Too much choice, bad. Not enough surprise or mystery or experience, particularly in e-commerce. We focus for so long on providing different types of products, differentiating our products. We haven't thought enough about the whole experience of acquiring that product. And those services, the services that are trying to do this, are often called emotional commerce. Why is this relevant, you might say? I think that if you own a brand, you will know this yourself. It's only getting harder to treat your customers badly. It's not getting harder, it's pretty much impossible. You go out of business now, it's a shame. Because it's so easy for them to share their bad experience online through social media and social networks. So They don't privately email you anymore to say, I'm very dissatisfied with my experience. They go to your Facebook fan group, and they leave a big ranty message on your public wall explaining to everybody just how sucky you are as a company. And as a result of that, you have to get better. You don't have any choice. And so we all get better at satisfying our customers. I think for me, because of this, some real high trust-based businesses, like the Hipstery, which we'll get to, can exist now where we couldn't have before. Because if you're a prospective customer, it's very easy to come and read other customers' experiences. Yeah? And because happy customers are spreading those experiences around everywhere via social media, when we win one customer, we win 100 customers. And so because of this, there are some businesses like the Hipstery that I think even 2 or 3 years ago couldn't have existed but can exist now. Okay, let's take a look at some examples of emotional commerce. The first is hunch.com. This helps you make difficult decisions. It does this by asking you to verbalize, or at least in click format, what is really important to you. And then after it's done this 2 or 3 times, it'll have a hunch, and it'll suggest to you what you should buy. The more you use it, the better it knows you, the better its hunches get. It's not just hunch, though. There are many, many examples of services that work by soliciting a specific emotional response from you to encourage you to buy. It could be Tom's. These guys do shoes. For every pair of shoes you buy from them, they'll give 1 pair of shoes to the needy. So firstly, you require a nice pair of shoes that you like, but more important than that, you require a story that you can tell. It's a story about how you made someone's life that little bit better, yeah? And the prop that you use to do that is some shoes. These are not Tom's shoes, but it's some shoes. It's also not just Tom's. I mean, there are a number of services like, say, Woot, that do these really time-sensitive deals. So they say, this is the offer, you know exactly when it's going to end, and you are forced to act or you miss out. It can be another example of that, T-Fury. They create one product that will exist for only 1 day. You know the price of inaction. The product is gone, you don't get a second chance, and it forces a reaction from you. Do I want it? Do I not want it? Even the Facebook like button, this is also about reducing choice. It's about saying what's important is no longer what's popular across the whole internet. Let me evaluate this by how popular it is amongst my network. Or Brands for Friends here in Germany. I guess a lot of you are members. I think they have 2 million members or so. These private shopping groups, again, they're about marketing to you via exclusivity. Yeah, so they force you to act by informing you that this is something only for you. You know, you're in this private club, which is only 2 million people. Aren't you special? You should act and get this because normal people can't have this, but you can have it because you're in our private club. Or Etsy is another example. It's about uniting you with the creator of your products. So there's a little guy sitting somewhere, I don't know, in Missouri. He's knitting a green scarf. You can buy that green scarf from him, directly from him. And so you know the creator of your green scarf. He lives in Missouri. His name's Al. Anyway, that's enough of that. Let's move to the Hipstery, which is my attempt at emotional commerce. It is a German company, so there are German companies that have ideas, even if they're run by English guys. We're based here in Berlin, and we're a mystery product service. And the golden rule of the Hipstery, the customer must never know what they will receive until they receive it. I mean, they'll know it's a T-shirt, because we sell only T-shirts, but the specific T-shirt they will never know. And we think that because the T-shirt market is so fragmented, it's better to let someone like us act as an intelligent filter, collecting all of the best T-shirts from around the world into one place, the Hipstery headquarters in Neukölln. And you can come and buy a T-shirt from us. You get to pick S, M, L, or XL, which is already more choice than we would like to give you. We do reveal some of the places that we get our T-shirts from, but we ask you to trust us because we are experts, yeah? And we think that we're in a better position to find the right T-shirt for you than you are because we know this market very well. Okay, how it works. When you get to the checkout page, there is a completely optional mini survey that runs. It's about 6 questions long. The questions seem goofy and irrelevant and are not hard to answer. In this case, you have to pick a canvas, but it might show you some superheroes and ask you to pick a superhero. Running behind this is a very sophisticated piece of technology we call our patented style algorithm. It's not actually patented, it's just called our patented style algorithm. And so we look at the things that you answer, the results, and this suggests to me or the team roughly the sort of T-shirt that we should pick for you, although we make the final choice. And so you're buying a T-shirt, but more than that, you're buying mystery, suspense, a personal experience, and what we like to call liberation from the burden of choice. Thank you very much.